Welcome to the Morning Madness crew. We're a little light, but that's all right. We're gonna try to weather the storm. You know how we do it. Um, we got Ladarius. I know he's supposed to be in. He said he was going to be joining in a little bit, and we'll try to go from there. We are live in Technicolor, if you will. We are here, me and Ron. We're going to be discussing, you know it, the Atlanta Falcons schedule, as well as, man, what the heck has happened since we've dropped out of the NFL. And what I mean is, what has happened since our last go round with the draft? 2 weeks have gone by. A big old trade happened. So let's talk about that. Me and Ron were discussing it like before the cameras turned on. Was the George Pickens deal to the Steelers, or from the Steelers to the Cowboys. And look, there's a lot of upside for the Cowboys in this, but we're going to be real about it because George Pickens has a history, the deal about it. Ron, I'm talking to you, brother.
I like George Pickens. I do. But he got devious ways. Everybody don't. George Pickens come from Georgia. Everybody don't realize that. So I've been watching George Pickens for a long time. A long, long time. He is a good wide receiver, but he got an attitude problem. And the Cowboys got them a good wide receiver. But can he leave his attitude at the front door? Yes or no? So.
Exactly. When you look at what George Pickens can bring to a team, all right, he's an incredible talent. Let's not sugarcoat it. Okay, he really is. He's one of those guys that can, get that ball. He makes plays, but he needs a quarterback to get him the ball. So the question I have is going to be not when, but what will happen when we see him in a matchup against the Eagles, the Commanders, the Giants. Can he keep his stuff together and make the impact he needs? Or does he get crash out syndrome like he's done and, basically not just cost the team, but almost like as if he just gets to a point where you're looking at him and you're going, dude, do you not see that we need you to be on this field? And I think that's what a lot of people miss out on this. Is, this isn't us, we're also sharing, folks. If you hear us being quiet for a minute, it's I'm trying to get everything.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so join the party. But yeah, we got, a talented receiver from Georgia, okay? And he was going to get Jordan Davis, and I wanted us to get Pickens in the second round.
Right.
All right. It didn't fall like that. I like who we have. All right. Let's give credit to where credit's due. All right. And also let's, talk about, oh God, I'm trying to catch up here. So live TV, pal. All right, it's on Twitter, so hopefully we got more people coming on. And I sent you obviously I sent you the thing. So go ahead and send it to the people on our shows and stuff that we, because I'm about to try to send it to the Falcon Network here. But I just think it's like this. When you look at the trade, my first thought is, what the hell is going on with Pittsburgh? Because you make a deal for DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We don't even know who their receiver or their quarterback is. All right. You sign whack-a-mole Mason Rudolph,
Yeah.
and now you're getting Will Howard from Ohio State. Good kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you drafted him in so late of a round. I don't think you're getting him to be your starter. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Here we got y'all got my Niners this year. Yeah, that's going to be one of the primetime games, man. I can't wait for that one. That actually is going to be fun. At San Francisco, no less. And then we got Let's Go Falcons. Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. John Brooks showing the muscle emoji. Look, we're going to talk about that video that they did. That was fun. I'm normally not a big component of, look at what they did. Check it out. I'm more of all right, cool. We got who we needed to.
Yeah.
So just trying to. No. It's funny. Ladarius always has videos of people, and I'm just like, dude, I just want to get to your message.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we are. We're doing our thing, but I just wanted people to know that I thought the trade was head scratching, not from Dallas' point of view. I think
Yeah.
if you're going to get a good receiver, let's be honest, 1 year rental.
Yeah.
If he does well, you really didn't spend a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, I think if anything, you kind of just get the thumbs up and you're like, hey, let's go to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Steelers had to trade Pickens. He wanted to be the number one. Metcalf, they already paid a number. Yeah, I know that. They don't want to pay Pickens, which I figured that too. I just thought they'd do that during the trade to try to get someone now, not later. But hey, but they got picks for him now, which, yeah. And, let's see. I'm with Ron. My boot is on your John, we're going to get into that, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to get into it.
George Pickett's a great talent as a wide receiver. Great. I cannot say that much. He is one of the greatest wide receivers that lace up his cleats. But can he leave his attitude at the front door?
Yeah.
Will he learn from Pittsburgh his mistakes that he made last year and the year before? That fighting on the sideline, fighting with the head coach, fighting with his teammates. Now you got a new beginning now.
Yeah.
So can you go over there and get ball out of control with Dallas?
I got you. And then we got Miss Carrie here. Carrie, welcome to the show. I want to pick us as a Falcon, but we all pass up. We always pass a great time. Look, I get we did pass up, but the thing is, we did get Drake London, so I can't get too upset about that.
Right.
But because I didn't think we were going to get a receiver at 8, but
right.
Lord and behold, we did. But like I said, Drake London's lived up to the personality. I like him. He's actually one of my favorites, so I'm not too mad. Miss Carrie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Okay, good. All right, doing okay. What did you think about the Pickens? And we're just starting from last couple of weeks to the schedule, kind of giving everyone a chance to settle in. Where Ladarius is maybe a little late, may not be able to make it. Had to take care of some family issues first, so I told him to do whatever he has to. Let me know what's up. So just found that out just now. So Ladarius is going to be, he may be here, he may not, but just know he's taking care of family. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So what do you think about the whole Pickens trade to the Cowboys here?
Yeah,
since we're actually going to be seeing him this year.
Right. So, Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too moved by it. I guess for me, if Mike Tomlin can't, if he gives up on you, that's very telling. But yeah, the guy, he's a promising receiver, but also, and he's talented, but he has a lot of off the field, issues, and he could be
Mm-hmm.
troublesome. So yeah, I don't know. Um, well, I guess we'll see how he does, paired with Dak and CeeDee Lamb over there in Dallas.
Oh yeah, we will. All right. So that was just like one piece of news there. Let's talk about one of our you know rivals, someone that we I'm kind of upset because this man retired and it actually helped the Saints
Mm-hmm.
because and I'm just going, can someone just can we just get what you call it, the Manhunter Martian dude from DC to get into Kurt's brain and just tell him to retire so he could do the same, because I really would like that right now,
Yep.
because that would help us on money, but
Yeah.
but yeah, we so if you haven't heard, um, he what was it? David Carr was at a church. He was talking about all the stuff that's going on, and then
Yeah.
he went to the doctor, and basically they saw that it's bad. So obviously, with that being said, health is number one. Let's remember that. I know a lot of people want to crap on the guy. Look, I don't like crapping on somebody when they when it comes to their health. All right.
Yeah.
I thought David, and not only that, I like Derek Carr. I didn't, his brother was another story, but him, he was a good guy. I liked him. Sorry, I'm doing another share. So, so that's what we're doing, is talking about the Saints. They just lost David Carr. He retired.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's Travis Shuck, it's Spencer Rattler, it's whatever. So how does this real? And by the way, Devin, you're right. Retiring makes nothing, or be backup quarterback, making 30 million. I'll be taking back a backup job for a year. I know. Or someone said it best. Spring training. I'm going down those stairs by myself, and I'm falling down
Mm-hmm.
them. So the C-Dub retiring helps the Falcons. They ain't don't have a quarterback. It helps us out a lot. Well, we're going to talk about it. But here's the thing. What did you think about the news? And like I said, the crazy thing, look at what they've always done. They always are able to get guys with the
Mm-hmm.
money constraints.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're going to have money. So kind of makes you go, oh Lord, what are they going to do? So what do you think about the whole Saints deal?
Me personally, I think if he really wanted to play football, he got injured, he would have got the surgery done a
Mm-hmm.
while back. But it seemed like he did not want to play football no more. So he was like, you know what? It is what it is. I don't want to play football. So I want to retire. But if you wanted to play football, you would have got the surgery a long time ago.
Well, I think it's a little bit more debilitating, if I'm not mistaken, because I think it's a lot, because they said it was a lot worse when they,
Right.
than what it was expected to be.
Right.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So if you wanted to play football, you would have got the surgery. No
Mm-hmm.
ifs about it. You're the leader for your franchise. I can't stand the Saints. Everybody know that. If you know me, I'm a Falcons fan.
Oh yeah.
But I call it like I said. He did not want to play for the Saints. He didn't. If he did, he would have got that surgery a long time ago. After it first happened. I forgot when he got injured, during what game. But I would, after that, when I left the game, I would have went to the hospital if I wanted to play football. That's all I got for you.
All right. What say you, Carrie?
I personally, I don't think that Carr retiring really helps us in any way. Respectfully disagree. I think they have a quarterback, mess down there, which is great. I don't rate Derek Carr. He's never won a playoff game in 11 seasons. I'm just not a big. I just think he's average, and I honestly, even when he's healthy, he's not doing anything for them. So for me, it doesn't really help the Falcons, in my opinion. It actually helps the Aints because they saved $30 million by him retiring. So we already know that they were in terrible cap situation. So if anything, it helps them. So I mean, it is what it is. He retired, good for him. But I wouldn't want to play for them either. So
All right. No, I got you. So, all right. I just think, if anything, it's more of, just the severity of the injury and didn't know how bad it was type deal. But, look, it happens. And hopefully it's like this. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're okay. And, you've made plenty of money. Do your thing, But let's talk about a controversy that happened in rookie minicamp. And I mean, I saw this blow up everywhere. We have a new number 11, and it's my dog. First of all, Jalen Walker, number 11. You know that smile Ron just did? That was the smile he had too, because he's like, the homeboy was showing out like a kid going to elementary school. He's like, look at me, holla. No, it's for real, man. I was so happy to see. Look, first of all, very happy to see all our rookies there. We're not going to throw shade at anybody, but Shamar Stewart decided not to be there. Well, was there, but didn't want to sign a waiver. But anyway, I'm just so glad we didn't get him. But anyway, man, it would have been lit earth if that would have happened with us. But anyway, let's talk about it big time. So people were losing their minds. I know Ron was on a show about it, about Julio's number. All right. And first of all, the number's not retired. So it's up for grabs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. First of all, how happy are you to know that both guys, or both the first round picks, are signed? They're there. Everyone's there, actually. So what do y'all think about our draft class? Look, this isn't like they didn't do anything like crazy where, oh man, this is really going to make it, real fun. Check it out. Watch what we're about to do. They didn't like unveil any packages or anything. They're just going through walkthroughs. But what did you think about seeing our rookies in the Falcon uniforms and just kind of, do you think they're ready for this spot? I guess is the question. So Ron, and then we'll get into the 11 debate.
Right. I love it. A lot of our players that were with last year, y'all got a fight on y'all hand now. If y'all really want to play for us, with Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., that mean business. That thing come in and handle business. And if you did not do nothing last year on this team, it don't look too good for some of the players that were here last year. I would say that, first of all. The Jalen Walker, number 11, I love it. He been wearing that number since high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's his number. I don't care about Julio. When Julio left, I said, okay, it is what it is. When he went on that show and said he was out there, I was done with Julio. If you had not bought this city a championship, why your number should be retired? Can anybody answer that?
I didn't know he did anything special to deserve to get his
Right,
number retired.
right. Don't get me wrong, Julio a good wide receiver, but he came left. It is what it is. We got to move on. And by the way, when he retired from the game, he did not say about the team that drafted him. So I still mad about that. He did not get off the blank his props. I still mad about that. This the man that drafted you, gave you a job in the NFL, and you ain't give this man his props. Okay. But other than that, move on to the rookie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Miss Carey, what do you think about the whole rookies getting in their jerseys? They're signed, no issues.
Yeah, I'm
And
really
then,
excited about the whole thing. Honestly, I'm excited. It means we're one day closer to football. I'm really excited about all our picks, undrafted free agents, our 5 picks in the draft. I'm very excited. Um, yeah, honestly, I'm not mad about the 11. To be honest, I'm more upset about Felipe Franks wearing number 86.
I'm just mad that
Ugh.
Felipe Franks is on our team right now.
I mean, sorry,
Right.
not 86, 84, but
Yeah, no, I
my
got
bad.
you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not mad about it. At least Jalen Walker has the potential to be a superstar, and he could do right by number 11. So I'm not mad about it at all.
Oh yeah. Here's what my thought is, and I'm just gonna go. I'm very happy about the rookies all being on the team right now. And hold on, let's see. Julio was gonna have a job regardless.
This Ron being salty.
No, Ron's being. Yeah, I think Ron's being. I think Ron's being legit here. What's good? All right, and then not to talk
Howie.
about Kurt, but would you trade Kurt to the Saints? Oh, let me put it this way. Heck yes, I would trade Kurt to the Saints.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about
Really?
Kurt.
Oh,
If
that's
I could get
wild.
something, and get that money moved, I'm trading him to the Siberian Huskies if I have to.
The
Mhm.
I
Falcons are
don't
not
care.
doing that. The Falcons are
Look,
not doing
look.
that.
They don't have to do it. I'm just saying. If you're asking me, C Dub, you know, do you want to have, you know, or do you want to get rid of Kirk Cousins? Yeah. What you got? Well, we got the Saints. Oh, really? Yeah, let's do it. I wouldn't care. Look. Some people always say the following: "Oh, it's an insult if you trade someone in your division." Well, guess what? Consider it an insult then. I would trade Kurt and put him on the Saints. But then again, like I said, maybe the Saints don't want him because of the fact, they want to see what these young guys are going to do. And if they have a bad year, guess what? Those guys end up going, and you get maybe the number 1 pick, and you get, you know, God would if they got the number 1 pick. They ended up getting the grandfather Arch, or they got Arch, or is Peyton Manning's daddy named Archie?
Yeah. Archie
Okay,
man.
okay, so I wasn't losing my mind. Okay, and then they go and get Arch. That would be crazy weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I like I said, if that were to happen, that would be pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt, I'm not. Look, do you really think Kurt's going to help after what we saw with Kurt, John? I'm being honest. If anything, you're just kind of putting another torpedo in the boat. Look, my thing is this: if it's me, I'm not looking anyone away. If someone said, "Hey, C-Dub, this team is looking at quarterback," really? Okay, it's one of those. If you have something that you want to get rid of, and I think they do, then you're going to be willing to look. It's not about, like I said, this rivalry stuff. Look, trust me, if anything, it'll be fun because guess what? We know who we're hitting. He ain't running. So like I said, and Taysom Hill's not on that team anymore. So that's another thing to think about, which I still said we should have gotten Taysom Hill, but that's just me. So with that being said, let's talk about the Julio Jones number 11 thing because I was going to talk about it anyway. And yes, he is here, Mr. Ryan, the historian. What's up, Ryan?
What's happening?
What's up, Ryan?
Good morning.
No problem.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It feels good to be invited to a show today. I love it. Thank you for hitting me up with the link. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Man,
but normally I'm having the bed. I'm just joking.
Hey,
but
look, before you get that slide, that hey, I'm in the bed, I'm all relaxed. Look, I mean, I get it. We don't need an R&B video now, Angela.
Hey, no, I ain't gonna do no mess like that. But no, whoever said, I'm gonna tell you this: whoever said that Arch would be going to New Orleans, you out your rabbit. Arch is not going to New Orleans. The person that they're going to go after is Garrett Nussmeier, who's at LSU. That is the next eligible quarterback, and he's right in their backyard. They're not going to let him go. That's who they're going to go for. So if you believe that they're going to do that, go. Good luck with that because they're not going to try to be bad for that long. But
well, like I said, I was just throwing something because we don't know yet. Because I'm just saying college. Ever since the NILs entered in, everything's kind of thrown everything off.
But C-Dub, but let's be real.
Yeah.
Arch comes from a family of money. And every Manning from Archie all the way down to Eli, no one left school early. Everybody left when it was time to go. So he's going to play in college for 2 years. So we won't see him there. So I'm just giving you that. We won't see him there. He'll go elsewhere.
Yeah. I didn't get that.
Oh, no. I was just making sure I put that out there because I know a lot of people are thinking that. I mean, it would sell tickets. You know what I'm saying? But because he's a hometown kid from New Orleans and it would make sense. But man, please, that boy staying for 2 years. Granddaddy and uncles already done told him, nah, you're going to get developed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't even think about it. He didn't even hit the transfer portal, which he could have, and started somewhere else. They made him, he sat on the bench for 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's kind of why. Like I said, this is all projections, and we won't know anything until later this year. After we get to January.
After the Falcons win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, here we go. Well, let's talk about it. So we were discussing the number 11. Because we've been out for a couple of weeks, and I was just saying that I like to stay away just to kind of hear what everyone's talking about. And there has been an unholy war about number 11. And so, Jalen Walker got number 11. Man's proud of it because, Ron said he wore it all the way from high school to now. But some people are like, it shouldn't have been available because it was Julio's number. Now, I haven't said my piece, but I want to hear yours. What do you think about that whole rhetoric?
Are you asking the whole panel or are you asking me specifically?
Well, I'm asking you because everyone else has already answered.
Okay. If you're going to hand out Claude Humphrey's number, who's a Hall of Famer, 87, you can hand out Julio's number. If you're going to hand out William Andrews' number to Justin Simmons, you can hand out Julio's number. Yeah. If you're going to hand out, I mean, I'm just being honest. You have all these numbers that you've handed out or whatnot. What makes Julio any different?
Thank you.
What makes Julio any different? Because the guys that I just named, Claude Humphrey's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it. Y'all
Yeah.
can sit there and argue with me, but Julio ain't got a gold jacket. You know, hell, they even hand out Prime. And here's my thing. Prime wasn't here long enough for them not to hand out 21. So y'all can kick rocks with that too. Prime only played 5 years here. So I don't give a damn who I offend this morning.
Well, you're on my show, so if you're offending anybody, it's all good because guess what? You know.
Oh well, they'll get over
exactly. It's all good. Don't worry. I don't mind. I mean,
But-
that's what we do.
But let's just be honest, man.
Yeah.
If you're handing out these numbers, that's one thing. Steve Bartkowski never won an MVP, but they don't hand his number out.
Wow.
Matt Ryan, they haven't handed it out yet. So I'm just saying, we don't retire numbers. So what's the purpose of that? If you're not going to hand those numbers out, just don't issue them. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm. If it's made available, then it's made available for a reason, you know. And I think someone said it best. These numbers are more like you're renting them, and you're there. You know, you do what you can. And you said it also about Dion. If Dion's number has been passed around for how many times?
A long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can happen to Julio. It's nothing to mitigate who Julio is. It's about you're going with the future with right now. So, and Julio has the best shooter, McGavin, to win the gold jacket. Oh my God, that was all right, John. I like that one. That bringing up the shooter.
But see, Doug, but remember this too.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills handed out O.J. Simpson's number because they were mad at him. That number was retired. They gave it to a scrub. I don't know if you remember hearing that. That was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They handed that jersey out. So if you're going to hand that out to the first 2,000, hand his jersey out, Julio ain't no better. And O.J.'s a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the first man to rush for 2,000 yards. So again, they got merit. I'm just saying.
Look, I think there are players that you just don't, get their number. But like Lawrence Taylor, you saw the whole thing with him and Carter and then Sims. So he did something to honor both of them. But my thing is this: in a world where if the number isn't retired or if the number's not visible, you're not getting it. All right. But now, if the number's available and you want it, go for it. And if anything, make it your own. And I believe he will. So, and by the way, what was your thoughts when you realized we got all the rookies are signed. So they are there. They are getting their, getting that good, walkthrough, kind of getting that good course of football, maybe loading up now. But what do you think about seeing them all there finally in uniform and seeing how they look?
Anybody can look good in shorts and a t-shirt.
Well, you know what
Just
I mean.
saying.
I mean,
I'm happy to see them. I'm a little tougher on this situation because I'm not fanned out when it comes to that. Okay, they supposed to be here. They supposed to be signed. Let's get to work. That's all I'm waiting on. And the preseason isn't going to be the thing that's going to determine it for me. Yeah, I'm ready for when the live bullets happen. You're not going to see any of these guys because Raheem does not play rookies. So at this point, let's just be honest. We're not going to see these guys really until the first week of the season, period. So at this point, they're not even going to expose anything because remember, other teams do have people to come up to facilities during training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're training on training.
So, C-Double, do you mind if I ask the panel a question?
Shoot.
Okay, I have a question. So this is relating to Falcons because we play this team this year, which is the Minnesota Vikings. We play them in prime time. I believe it's Sunday Night Football, week 2.
Yeah.
So my question is, I saw this, conversation being had on Twitter today that, well, actually I've been seeing it, just in the last week that people are just thinking that the Vikings are going to be great, because the team that they have around JJ McCarthy. But my thing is, JJ McCarthy has never thrown a pass in the NFL. He's coming off a major injury. I don't understand how. To me, he's a question mark, and that's supposed to be the leader of your team. So for me, yes, he's working with Kevin O'Connell, who's very good with quarterbacks. He has arguably one of the best, wide receivers in the league with Jay Jettas. But my thing is, like, I don't know. I see far more people just automatically assuming he's going to be good and they're going to be great this season versus like the Falcons. Yes, we also have question marks, but I feel like we've seen a little more of Penix. Yes, he still hasn't played a full season. He's essentially a rookie, but I don't understand how it's not the same standard as far as, Penix versus JJ McCarthy. We at least saw 3 games from Penix, and that's without playing with the ones, practicing with the ones. What is your thoughts on that? Because I would like to hear it.
Okay. Ron, you want to go at it first?
My thoughts is we don't know what they rookie going to look like.
Right.
He had not played with the starters. He got injured last year.
Right.
I don't know what injury he coming back from, but
he
tore his ACL. I mean, tore his meniscus, and he was out for the year. It was bad.
okay,
It was bad.
So
bad injury.
So they don't even know what he looked like because they were trying. Another team were trying to get Coach Cousins. So if your front office and your coaching staff were trying to get Coach Cousins, it's like a 50-50 chance. You see what I mean, Mr. Carey?
Yeah, I just want to see like how you guys feel.
Yeah.
Like you feel the same way. What do you think, Ryan, about that situation?
You want me to lie, or do you want me to tell you the truth?
No, I want you to be honest because I just had some. I just personally.
But I mean, most Falcon fans can't handle the truth. Just saying, most can't. Okay, so the truth is this: the kid was developed by Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has a great track record with quarterbacks, going back to Andrew Luck and many others. Colin Kaepernick, I might add to that list, because if you remember, he beat us in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I remember.
Coming off the bench. So when you look at it, Harbaugh can develop a quarterback. The one thing you know that they're going to be able to do is read a defense, and they're not going to make dumb mistakes. And McCarthy played 5 games last year, talking about preseason, and then before he got hurt. And he literally has a rhythm and a timing with those receivers in Minnesota. And he's dangerous with his legs. He didn't tear his ACL. He hurt his meniscus, and the Vikings just shelved him and kept Sam Darnold out there because he could have came back at the end of the season. He actually could have, but they benched him. So at this point, let's be honest. You're talking about a guy that was developed by a real quarterback coach and a former quarterback that played in the NFL that actually is a damn good coach. So again, when you look at this man spent 4 years in that system up in Michigan, and it's a pro-style system. So he's a pro-style quarterback. The difference is he's got mobility. So all I'm saying is I understand why they would do that. It's not just marketing. They're also looking at the background of that. And I'm not putting you in this category, Carrie, so please, this doesn't apply to you. Most Atlanta Falcon fans do not watch college football unless they're college fans. And they truly don't study kids. They truly don't. So when you talk about him, he's a killer. I'm going to keep that a buck with you. Wasn't a fluke. Now, everybody's going to say, oh, well, Michigan cheated. Okay, well, everybody knew that they cheated. Everybody cheats in football. But guess what? You knew what they were going to do, and you still didn't stop them. So he's one of those quarterbacks that could get the job done because at one point they had projected him to come to Atlanta. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can play. I'm not going to sit there and be no hater. The kid can play. We just got to see the consistency at the NFL level at this point. That's pretty much what I got for you.
Okay.
And also another X factor that is there's that coach, Kevin O'Connell,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
he made Kirk Cousins look good. He made Sam Darnold look good. I think he could do the same with this kid. And especially if he has a foundation like he does with Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's not an easy coach to learn from.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, he is a quirky dude, but he's also one of those guys that are, you know, you got to work hard to earn his love. And I'm still trying to figure how Justin Herbert just easily got it. But anyway, but I will say, when I look at JJ, it's a matter of the coaching, how much belief you have in them. And I think watching what they did with Sam Darnold is what makes me go, I could see them working well with JJ. Now, the question is, you know, look, no one's, knock on wood, there's no injuries. Also, the injury bug did hit the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, all the questions are, you know, they have a good defense. They have a good offense. The big question is, what can the quarterback do? Can this quarterback take him to that next level? So, and he's starting. I get the big question mark, but honestly, you know, he's going to, you know, he'll be playing at home that game. We'll be playing on the road. That will be interesting because I remember the last time we played in Minnesota, and it was our veteran quarterback that lost us the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
also Alford not being able to stand on his feet.
Yeah.
True.
Not just
But
that,
we were
Mike
in that
Hughes
game to the
too.
fourth quarter, though. We were in
Yeah.
that game to the fourth quarter, honestly.
Mike,
Crazy.
don't forget about Mike Hughes, the man who just signed the contract. He was getting toasted too.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of – so there's a lot of questions, I would say, before,
Okay.
you know, I think it's just going to be one of those – it will be interesting to see how we all play, especially, man, Ryan already coming with the fire here with the dang preseason stuff. So we'll definitely talk about that too, because this is going to come in when we talk about the, you know, the records. And by the way, I don't like doing preseason or how many wins you can see. Man, please, because we don't know. Like Ryan said, none of these guys have been on the field yet.
Right.
You know, we don't know. So if I'm trying to tell you, oh, well, yeah, they're 17-0, baby, we're going to win it all. Man, please, stop. You know, like I said, I heard people trying to give the Steelers projections. I'm going, how are you going to project when they don't even have a quarterback? You know, and their quarterback's over at all right. So without an actual quarterback, and I'm not talking about the one that does Hiawatha. All right, so let's talk about it. The Falcons schedule dropped. I'm not worried about the preseason games because, quite honestly, we already know that Rod doesn't believe in playing starters.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is this, though. With the way this year needs to be, do you think we're actually going to maybe adjust something, play some starts? Because here's the thing. To be fair, nothing has changed offensive line-wise except for the center.
Right.
And as long as Penix and the center can, you know, get the ball to each other, that's all that matters. Or that the center can get the ball to. Has Newsel signed yet? Because I've heard stuff saying that he hasn't signed yet either.
No, he hasn't signed yet. He hasn't signed the contract yet. It's still in negotiations, but they're already saying that he's the guy. It's just the fact that they got to get the money right.
Is. Good morning, all in chat on the show. I'm being the executive producer today. Hey, after dealing with, you can do whatever you like, Ladarius. It's all good. I got you, brother. But yeah, I just wanted to. So let's bring this up. So we got the season starting. So basically, our season starts September 7th against the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, if we have another year of no preseason and we have all these fans, or all the stuff about how good this team is, we can't afford to start slow like we did
Yeah.
last year against the Steelers.
Uh,
So, because this is a division game, and last I checked, you need them. And last I remember, Raheem, Coach Ra, talked about how we need to beat Baker. So, guys, how big is that game? Then it's at our house too. We'll start with Ron, then Kerry, and then Ryan.
I think they're a big game for us because we felt them last year, and they got better during the draft and doing free agent. I think we're gonna split with them this year. I think we're gonna win that game, and we're gonna lose at their house. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. What say you, Kerry?
To be honest, yeah, we got to start out hot, like you said. Can't be like last season opener. I remember being at that game, sitting there like, what did I just watch? Like, that was bad. Offense had we already know it's partially because Kirk was limited, couldn't do any play action at all, but man, the offense just looks so out of sync. Couldn't get anything going. We lost a game where the other team didn't score a freaking touchdown. I mean, it was pretty bad. I was just sitting there in disbelief. So yeah, I don't want to see that again. We got to start out, especially at home, against the team that's been winning the division every year in recent years. Yeah, for me, it's a must-win game. But I don't know, it's tough because I go to Tampa away every year, and so I plan to be there. And so I don't want to say we're gonna lose that game because I've never seen us lose in Raymond James, but I do feel like we could probably split this year because I do think the Bucks want their revenge for us sweeping them. So I don't know, we'll see.
All right. And December too at that. All right. So go ahead, Ryan.
Well, the difference is you can open up the playbook this year because you got a guy that's been in the system for a year. He understands what it's like to be in prime time. And then when you look at this division, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I know everybody loves Bijan, but it's got to be a Tyler Algier game, and I'm gonna give you the reason why. You literally just watched Tampa Bay grab Desmond Watson, a 400-pound defensive lineman,
Man.
to go along, and he got him as an undrafted free agent to go along with Vita Vea. Vita Vea has already been a problem for Atlanta for years since he's been there. Now you give him a running mate who can literally easily take two offensive linemen at one time. Now, the way that you beat them, you run Tyler Algier because he's going to wear them down. And then once they get out of gas, because them big boys, they in shape, but they do get tired. That's when you start throwing the football and letting Michael Penix kind of move around and make him chase him. But in this game, you got to wear them down. And then you hit them with Bijan, a heavy dose of Bijan at the end. But in this situation, you got to establish the trenches against those two off the rip. That's where that game is going to be won at offensively for us. Defensively, we got to stop Bucky Irvin, and we got to be able to get to the quarterback. And when we get to him, we got to be able to bring him down. Lorenzo Carter hurt us last year because he couldn't tackle that well. We have to be able to bring Baker Mayfield down when we get back there. So this is just going to be one of these. This is going to be one of these games that's just going to tell us what we need to know.
All right. This game in particular, I want to see if Raheem learned anything. Want to go back. Give me a minute. I want to find it. Build off the buzz that Marty Carlo brought up, and then will Zach have the patience to run that scheme? You know, I got you. Here's my thing. We're going to find out because how many times did we say that this is how you should beat this team? You know, put in Tyler, put in this, put in that, and we saw they did the opposite. So we're going to see how true we. I want to. I want to watch Raw. I want to see if there's a sense of urgency with them this year, because it should be. And to prove that this team, because everyone keeps telling us that this team is playoff ready. This team should be playoffs. And not only that, you bet a first round pick on the fact that you went and got your pass rusher. So you're basically saying, hey, we're going ahead and getting our guy. We don't need to worry about next year. We're getting him now. So that means you didn't care where this thing's going to land. So that's going to be an ultimate gamble. And all I got to say is I think this game is going to be very interesting to watch, because if they do what, they did before last year, which was we don't play anyone preseason, and I don't, we won't really see anything training camp wise because, they're not going to tell anything. They'll just dance around it. Then this is going to be a concerning game because I hope everyone's ready to play. Let's just put it that way. And it's not because, it's not it's like defense is optional because of the fact that, they're just not ready for it. But we'll see. Because like I said, I think this season's a do or die for Raheem Morris. I think Terry put the keys in, put the young guys in there. They got hopefully, Albrecht could keep all the secrets to himself this go round, keep the phone locked or the iPad locked so we don't have no issues. So, but this is going to be interesting. What stretch of games are y'all concerned about the most for this season? We'll start with Ryan, then Kerry, and then Ron. I'm going to shake it up a little bit.
I wouldn't say a stretch of games, but I say a few games that I would have a little concern with.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo.
Okay.
We got to go to New England in the wintertime. We don't play well up there, ever.
No.
Then we get a rematch with Seattle now that they've improved somewhat. And then I got to say the other team that's going to be dangerous that we're going to be playing against, Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Remember, they were just one play away from going to the NFC Championship game last year. They're not a slouch team. Those are my games that I feel as if theirs are going to be tough. But I think we'll be able to compete and win. The reason I didn't say Minnesota is because I think we have a really good shot of going in there and handling business because our quarterback has a little bit of experience. And when you talk about experience, he's already played on a primetime game, which was crunch time against Washington. And that was a nationally televised game. And let's just be real. He's still going to have to grow up. He's still a rookie this year. But you saw flashes of what is to come if he stays healthy and he thrives in big moments. Because he could have folded when he threw that fourth down touchdown to Kyle Pitts. Could have folded, but he didn't. So those are my games that I feel is going to be tough. But I think the best part about it is we got a quarterback that played in Washington and he also started his career in Indiana. So the cold weather games, I'm not worried about when we're outside. It's just the stigma that we have against New England. Can we get over that? Because that stench is still there.
Yeah. All right. What say you, Kerry? What games are you kind of looking at that are going to be maybe the tough ones?
I think our toughest stretch is going to be weeks 1 through 6, honestly. The middle of the schedule's a lot easier, in my opinion, and same thing with the end of the schedule. The beginning of the schedule is pretty tough, not going to lie. We start out with the division winners in recent years, the Vikings, Panthers. Then the real test right there is that Commanders game, and then followed by Buffalo. What gives me hope is that we do have that, even though I hate it, that we have a week 5 bye and we don't have a bye week after Germany, week 11. At least we have this bye possibly to prepare for Buffalo. We have like 15 days between the Washington game and the Buffalo game, which that could help give us some time to prepare for, in my opinion, our toughest opponent on the whole schedule.
Okay. What say you, Ron?
I would say the Cardinals. Every time we play them, we have a hard time with their little quarterback. And I would say Buffalo, and I would say the Patriots. Because like Ryan said, it's going to be cold around November, and we playing outside. And we already have a hard time with the Patriots. Yes, Bill Belichick not there. They got a new coach that like to run the ball. And you got the tackle.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody forgetting he built their defense their offseason. They spent a lot of money on that defense their offseason. So he a defensive mind coach. Everybody forget about that too. So those are the games I worry about.
Yeah.
And the Rams.
Because remember, the Rams get hot around that time of the year.
Yep.
Every year they do.
Ryan, you just said something that kind of not stole my thunder, but who gets hot around when? We don't get hot at the end. And that has always been the thing that I always look at. So I look from the Panthers, the home game at the Panthers, all the way down. Because, and I also look at that New England game because you said the cold. Well, if it's cold on November 2nd, how cold do you think it's going to be November 30th against the Jets when you have to go chasing Justin Fields around?
I can tell you from experience of living in New England, because remember I was in the service. I was stationed in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which was 30 minutes away from Foxborough.
Okay.
The coldest, and you got to remember, I live in Philly now, so I'm right up the road from New York, where the stadium's in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It gets cold in New York and in New Jersey, but no. The New England cold is worse than Chicago.
Gotcha.
If anybody has ever been into that area, when you talk about it just being blistering cold, it's, how can I put it? That thing is probably the blister on God's ass. That's how cold it is.
Man.
I mean, I had to stand duty in that mess. When I tell you, even no matter how much you bundle up, it's still going to be, it literally cuts through whatever you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's that cold. So,
No,
so yeah, but I'll take the New York cold over the New England cold any day. C-Dub.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think of like the weather games. Usually we see them in early November or late November, and then parts of December. You know, you do see that. So to see that that's where we have two games right smack dab, I'm going, those might be the issue depending on the weather. And then I'm looking at the Seattle game. I'm looking at the Cardinals, like Ron said, and I'm looking at the LA Rams also. You know, they do get on fire, but not just that. It's like this. When you need a win the most, who usually carries that moment? Now, that's a home game, but this is where I got to see Raheem be, you know, what we thought he was going to be, not the tap dancer.
Right.
So, you know, the first six, my thing is this. I've seen the Falcons always get on a hot start. I've always seen it. I've never seen them close strong. And that's been the issue. Even into 2016, we lost late in the year, and then we got on a run, which is cool, but it happens. That's kind of how it always happens. And that was the 2016 year. But it's like, I want to see us. Let's see what we do. And by the way, a game I'm looking forward to is on my birthday, Washington. I cannot wait for that one. If it's anything like the game we had last year, I cannot wait for this game. I think that will be at the end of the game, someone's going to, I don't want to say miss a timeout, but, hopefully.
Take it home, Bill.
See, Dub, I don't want it to be like the game from last year because Raheem showed his incompetence. I want it to be better. I want it to be where we just blow these fools out and we pretty much get to leave early. That's what I want to happen. I know it ain't gonna happen, but still. I know it sounds crazy, but I actually want to see it where he actually can vindicate himself. I will give him that. If he, hey, this is a game. You lost us this game last year. Are you, be the reason, or just don't be the reason? How about that?
Right.
Let's talk about the corner. Let's talk about Kyle Pitts dropping the ball. Let's not talk about Raheem looking at the Halo board going, "Oh, I had a timeout."
Right.
And speaking of Kyle Pitts, I got something for you, C-Dub. You might like
boy.
it.
Well,
So I don't know if you knew yesterday, Myles Garrett came into the Birdcage yesterday. So Myles Garrett boldly stated, and you can go back and watch this. So that's not the historian saying this. Myles Garrett said this. I'm quoting him. If Kyle Pitts does not play well this year, he will be gone. That's already been said. Now, and the reason they say that is because the words that were used from Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris, disappointment. Now, just think about that, C-Dub. Now, Myles said this on the show yesterday.
Okay.
And I started laughing. I said, y'all Kyle Pitts defenders can't defend that.
No.
You got somebody that goes into that locker room and interviews folks and talks to folks. So now y'all can't defend that. The only thing that y'all can defend is if he plays well this year. Because if he doesn't, and Carrie, you're a Kyle Pitts defender, so this applies to you. So I'm making sure you know this. Because she said this yesterday when she was doing the draft special, scheduling special about being a Kyle Pitts defender. So she falls into this category. You can't defend him if he does not play well this year at all. No excuses. And Myles Garrett even said this yesterday. The excuse for the quarterback has gone out the window because of what Brock Bowers did last year with 3 different quarterbacks and did it with one of his quarterbacks. So I don't want to hear no more excuses from none of you Kyle Pitts fans. No.
You can't compare the Brock Bowers.
No, yes, I can. No, Carrie.
That's unfair. No, let me speak, please, because Brock Bowers was the whole offense, number one. And number two, Brock Bowers, look at targeted, not even just tight ends, look at targeted receivers, tight ends, running backs. He's like the most targeted one. Like he has way more targets than Kyle Pitts did. So, I mean, I agree.
Who did they have on that team, Carrie? Who did they have on that team? Honestly, because we lost count.
Brock Bowers.
It was Brock Bowers, and then you also had Zamir White and a few other players on that team. But let's be real. It was only 2 players here in Atlanta, Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts. Because Ridley left.
I'm talking last year because you said Brock Bowers.
Oh no. I'm talking about from the expectation standpoint because Brock Bowers did this as a true rookie with 3 different quarterbacks because Pitts has had different quarterbacks. And this was something that Myles even said. You've gone through different quarterbacks throughout your career. And we excluded the knee injury situation because that was unfortunate. But we're speaking about the fact that he played with 3 different quarterbacks in the same season. That's hard to do. And he still produced. Pitts has had 6 different quarterbacks in his career. But he's played majority of the seasons with some of these quarterbacks, though. That was what the argument was. And even Miles said he has no excuses in this sense, but we do give him a little leeway.
I do agree that he has no excuses this year, 100%. But I think comparing Brock Bowers' season to Kyle Pitts' season last year is kind of misleading, in my opinion. But
I'm not saying Gary. I ain't saying last season.
Hold on.
Well, Brock Bowers has only played one season.
Hold on. Let me ask this question. Well, first of all, how many touchdowns did Brock Bowers get last year?
More than two.
Like I said, he was the whole.
He got more than two.
The whole offense.
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead.
Because Carrie, I'm actually also going to say the following. I'm looking at Kyle Pitts in his rookie year with one quarterback, Matt Ryan, compared to Brock Bowers with three quarterbacks or two quarterbacks and a Desmond Ridder.
Dang, man, you called him a Desmond Ridder. You cold for that.
I am. Guess what? Hold on. If he makes the team, I will give him back a quarterback spot. How about that?
He
got kicked out of the Broncos, a training camp. And you know the Broncos had Tim Tebow in their quarterback camp. So I don't want to hear it.
Let me stop.
So, yeah. So I'm looking at it from that rookie impact that Kyle had. 1,000 yards. Everyone tells me how great that impact was.
Mm-hmm.
But one touchdown, meaning he was going to go down the same route the Julio train was going. Get me the yards. Touchdowns? So when I look at Pitts, yeah, he is. This is a do or die year for Pitts, for Raheem Morris. And look, Terry
Fontenot in there too, C-Dub, because Myles Garrett threw him in there too yesterday.
Yeah, no, because they handcuffed each other. They basically said, I'm here with you. We're in this together. You know, this is like a Thelma and Louise. If the car goes overboard, we know what's going to happen. So
5 years and no playoff wins.
Exactly. It's about results. It's not about, but I like this player. It's not about that. It's about, can we get some guys that can make the impact to get us in the playoffs? We have not been in the playoffs since 2017. And that's a fact. And ever since Terry came in, he hasn't sniffed the playoffs. So, you know, and now you traded your first round pick. So this year, you have to make the playoffs. So that's why I was going to ask, and Ryan, if you could get back on, please do. But if you know, and what constitutes, I don't know, man. I just want Pitts to be in the offense. If he's going to be in the offense, be a difference maker. Right. Make the catches. Don't fumble the ball to the cornerback where the cornerback ends up taking it back for a touchdown, or, you know, where Drake London has to, you know, hustle his butt to, you know, attack him. Go ahead, Ron.
Do you think if our OC make Kyle Pitts the number one instead of number two, he will be better?
Huh?
Are you saying are you? So I'm trying to make sure I understand your question. Are you saying should Zach Robinson make him the number one target in this offense? Is that what you're saying, or what?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The number one read, then Drake London.
He's not even the number two read, so.
Nope. But the thing is, that's why I was trying to figure out, because they don't even use him as that. Because you know, Drake it's been Drake and Mooney the whole time, and then you got Ray in there, and they'll figure out a way to work Pitts. Hey, Christy. Now Christy, I got to tell Christy that comment, because let's put it this way: we know Terry didn't have no power. We all confirmed that. We all confirmed that. Steve Weiss, many NFL insiders did that. But the problem is this: he's going to be the one that's going to be the fall guy because of that. He didn't choose Arthur Smith, but he chose Raheem Morris. Yep. So that is where his fate is tied to at this point. So if Raheem doesn't win, that's his guy, no matter what he did in the draft. And it hurt me to even hear that from Miles. because I like Terry. I don't want Terry going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the fact that he balanced the books. He was aggressive in the draft when he had the opportunity to do so. I don't want him going anywhere. But unfortunately, the way that they're all talking about this, he might be gone if this season isn't a success.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Falcons president ain't going nowhere. I'm with you on that. But Rich McKay is going to probably end up being the next commissioner of the NFL. Or he's going to be at the top of the player committee. He ain't that old. He in his 60s.
Hold on. Man, look, I don't trust how old Skeletor is. We don't really know. I'm waiting for the day he just takes that cloak off. He's like, I'll get you, He-Man.
No, but I'm with you on that, Chris. I don't think that the Falcons president. I think the Falcons president should be held accountable for a lot of the BS that's going on in this franchise too.
Me personally, clean house. If they don't make it, you clean house totally, because of the fact that think of all the embarrassment, all the stories that have come out about the Falcons. You just need somebody to just be like, enough. We're not going to be the jokes. I mean, we're not going to look at our defensive coordinator and go, you need to beat your kid, right?
Right.
And that joke's going around.
Can I ask y'all a question? How do y'all feel about Arthur Blank's son? During the draft, Raheem saying the young owner, Arthur Blank's son. How do y'all feel about that?
I think he's not as sensitive as the old man.
Ooh, yeah. I love it. I got my Birdman hands.
That's all I'm gonna say. I need an owner that's gonna be ruthless, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yeah, I have a little bit more of a. I think what I saw with him was more of a. Y'all think you're playing my dad? You ain't playing me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was he had that look. He did.
Right.
Like he wasn't like chumming to everybody.
Right.
He was respectful, but you could tell he just has that look of him of, you think I'm born yesterday?
Right.
Yeah, I'm born on third, or as one guy says, I'm a lucky sperm. But, look, my daddy worked too damn hard for you to be screwing this all up.
Right.
So, go back to last year, Blink gave that black turtleneck on the rearrangement up. Oh, God. I do remember that. Man, Blake looked like a damn godfather that day. That was
I was thinking about the. No, I got you, Christy. I know that's right. Greg Beatles is the president, but you got Rich, who's the CEO, and Rich is in charge of that. But at the same time, yes, he did the rearrangement and whatnot. But again, don't think that old Skeletor don't have his hands in everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's been confirmed by many people that he's got his hands in it.
Hey, I call this a victory. I got Ryan now calling that man Skeletor, so I think I've done good for the world now.
I'm just saying, C-Dub, like, the thing is, a lot of our fan base don't really want to believe that old man that old dude ain't got his hands in a lot of stuff.
He does.
Some people do, and some people don't. And some people are saying, well, Terry did this. I'm like, do y'all not realize that he handcuffed Terry his first 3 years?
Right.
Yeah.
We said
it wasn't Beatles is in there. It was Beatles in there, but Rich McKay was the one that was calling a lot of those shots. It was not Beatles. That's the reason why I kept saying Rich McKay. So again, like, come on, man. We've had Thomas Dimitrov here. We've had Ryan Pioli here. Guys that were winning championships, and Rich McKay was literally getting in the way of a lot of things.
That doesn't surprise.
So my question to you, me and Kimmy filed old Fort.
Yeah, Rich is our Mickey Loomis. Thank God he ain't as bad.
He is bad.
No, think about this. Mickey Loomis actually has a permanent position until he dies. The owner of that franchise signed him into a will before he died after that Super Bowl.
Oh.
He ain't going nowhere.
About that too. They want to go
Better
back
than
to that.
us.
This is the Super Bowl. Terry got the blame because he's a clergy. Close down the games. Like I said, man, you know what would also help? There's you ain't off.
I know what'll help. We let Kerry go in the front office and go kick somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Kerry got enough fire for everybody.
Oh,
I ain't gonna let you just sit there and be quiet. Look, I know you mad at me about the Pitts thing. It's okay.
no, I am not
You still
mad.
my dog. You
I
still
am
are my
not.
dog.
No, we good. We're good. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just listening. That's all.
We might fight. Look, hey, see, dog, we might fight amongst each other, but damn it, let somebody mess with one of us.
Oh yeah, I know how that
That
feels.
part,
Trust
yeah.
me, yeah, I got everyone's back, man. Don't worry, I'll jump
Exactly.
out of the bushes for somebody. So, oh Lord, so, because here's my thing. Because you talked about Myles Garrett, all right, and he's a good reporter. I appreciate that. The Pitts thing, you know, because I've said it. I don't think you're not trying to re-sign this man. Because I feel like you give him another contract, he's going to give you the same effort he's given you the past 4 years. Oh, there he goes. So, you know.
Can we just change this?
Well, no, I wanted to ask.
I love this subject.
Because, no. I want to
Okay,
ask
I'll just
legitly.
listen.
Is there a legit chance that Kyle Pitts could play himself still with this team? Or is this one of those, no matter what happens, yeah, we're not re-signing him. We know who he is, and we'll deal with it, you know, type of stuff. Hold on, let me get over here. All right, well, hold on, here we go. And then we got Raheem should know better, especially being here prior.
Me personally, if I in the front office, I'd be like, Kyle Pitts, you know, my boy. No, I don't care how good you have a good season. I don't care you get 15 touchdowns. You don't.
But here's the problem.
Wait a minute. My thing is, it should not come down to this my contract year. I should do this. I should do that. You should already have been doing it. We should not got to hold that over your head. No diddy. And saying, hey, if you don't get this many yards, if you don't get this many touchdowns, you won't be here.
Oh, God. I'm trying not to die. That was good.
We should not got to be like that. He should have wanted to get the yards and the touchdowns and perform like a good tight end that we all know he should be. So that's all I got for you.
All right. Yeah, because I was just asking, Ryan, with the interview, do you feel like Kyle has to just, is there a certain, like, are they looking for him to be able to do something? Or is this maybe one of those, we might end up seeing him get released or what? What do you think?
He has to play well this year. He is no ifs, ands, or buts. It's a make or break year. And that was already disclosed in that conversation that we had yesterday. And, you know, and I asked him, I said, with the tough question in that, you know, I asked him off the record, I said, do the Falcons feel like they made, I didn't want to ask it on record because, you know, don't want to mess up his credibility.
No,
I was, you know, online. And I asked him, I said, do you think the Falcons made a mistake by drafting this dude that high? Honestly. But he just kind of chuckled. He didn't answer. He chuckled. So that was all I needed to know yesterday when he chuckled, because they're not going to take accountability for their mistakes at all. That's something that you might as well. Now, he said Raheem was a lot more accepting of responsibility than Arthur Smith was. Now, that was something that he put out there. And he said, I got to cover Arthur Smith. And he said, and I covered Raheem Morris. He said, some things you could say that, but for the most part, Raheem Morris was accountable for, you know, to Myles Garrett. You know, he said he was more accountable than Arthur Smith was. So, you know, if he's saying that, I know we make jokes about him and do little shorts. I think that should tell enough right there. I'm gonna trust the guy who covers the team.
Yeah, because he wouldn't just say that for clicks and
Exactly.
giggles. Yeah. All right. What say you, Carrie? Christy's like Ron throws the baby throws the baby out without the bathwater.
Oh wow.
Lord,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my expectation for Kyle Pitts in this year, is that what you want to know? I just think he has to produce, right? Like he has to have a better year. I mean, he has to put the effort. But I also believe that Zach Robinson has to find a way to include him more. I don't really think Zach Robinson uses tight ends like that, to be honest, in his offense. Kyle Pitts was drafted when Arthur Smith was here, who is known for using tight ends. I feel like Kyle Pitts, I think both are true. Kyle Pitts lacks effort. On a lot of times he's on the field, but I also believe that he's not really a spotlight in this offense. He's not really something, he's not included in the scheme. I really couldn't tell you a play that was drawn up last year by Zach Robinson to include Kyle Pitts. Um, I do think, with his height and his arm, length, he should be used in the red zone more. I know we've been saying that for years. Didn't see a lot of that. I think he did have 4 touchdowns last year, but I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like you said, it's a contract year. He has to produce. I do think Zach Robinson should improve year 2. And yeah, like I said, we have so many offensive weapons. I still don't know that he's going to be putting up like a Brock Bowers numbers like how he did, because he was the only offensive weapon in that team last year. He's not, I don't know. I just feel like it's very unfortunate, like the whole situation, because I think the Falcons made a mistake by drafting a tight end 4th overall, making history by doing so. Uh, and it is what it is. Like he's held to a higher standard for that reason. So people expect him to be putting up crazy numbers, and I just feel like he's not really included in the offense. And I also feel like he's not, um, he's not even the second read, like to your point, Ron. I think, maybe he's the 3rd or 4th. So, yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I do think it is a big year for him, though.
Yeah, I
Kerry,
would.
but how can you consider him a part of this offense? And how can an offensive coordinator or quarterback trust you when you'll give up on plays? That's something and that's where the trust factor comes in there. Because we all said Kirk was liking him during the offseason, throwing to him, and we saw something that was getting ready to happen. But let's be honest. Now, with Brock Bowers been doing this since he was out in high school, out in Cali. Everything that you're seeing now, nothing changed. He went to Athens, Georgia. He pretty much was the best player on a loaded team.
Mm-hmm.
And he stood out. Won the Mackey Award twice. And then you look at Pitts, let's be real. Pitts benefited from a loaded offense when he was at Florida. See, most people don't want to talk about that. And I'm not saying the kid isn't talented, because you don't get a Mackey Award if you're not good. He was the best tight end in the country when he came out, when we got him. But let's be real. Van Jefferson was on that team. Freddie Swain was on that team. And then you also had Kadarius Toney on that team. And that's before he forgot his hands when he got to the NFL. So when you talk about that team, it's just the honest to God truth. And they had Kyle Trask, who was Tampa's backup to Tom Brady, throwing him the rock. So, and first he had Felipe Franks, which God, I prayed for that dude. But let's be real. When you look at that, he benefited from having guys to open up the field for him, and it was what it is. At Georgia, let's be real. We don't produce wide receivers at UGA like that. We got some that's come out, but we don't produce them like that. And Brock Bowers was the top target for Stetson Bennett for 2 years straight.
So what I'm hearing is we did make a mistake by making history drafting a tight end 4th overall.
Yeah.
We make mistakes for the wrong thing all the time with the Falcons. We have never done anything right with this organization since 1966.
Do you remember my slogan for a couple of weeks ago? I said, "We're just a team of damn. We're just damn."
But I love them.
No,
Shoot,
no,
I love my
yeah.
damn Falcons though.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to go. That's my damn team. Damn. What the Falcons do? Damn. What Jack Salford? Damn. Raheem said what? Damn. Arthur Blanks did what? Ah, damn. Oh, like the food process. Look, Fatty has to eat. And when you can get a soda for a legit price and get refills, that's my dog right there. I got my Coke Zero and I was drinking like you wouldn't believe. So we should have Parsons. I still say Sewell. I would have loved to have Renee Sewell. That's the guy.
That would have been perfect.
Oh, that madman, big Samoan, just crushing people on the edge, man. And you wouldn't have to worry about a blindside tackle.
I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Pitts is gonna perform this year, and I think Penix is gonna make it happen. But the one thing that Kyle can't do is give up on routes and give up on things if something doesn't go his way. He can't pout like that because again, you got a rookie quarterback that you're really playing with now, and he went to you in a crucial situation last year against Washington. You cost him his first interception, if you want to be honest, but you made up for it in that Washington game. So at this point, like you said, Kerry, we got to scheme him up a little bit better. But now you said something about Arthur Smith. Let's be real. Arthur Smith brought in Jonnu Smith, and then he also had another tight end who came in before, and both of those tight ends that we had actually outperformed it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the fact that they don't use him. It's the fact that, again, he wasn't producing because they were putting him in positions with Arthur Smith, but you had two other tight ends or whatnot that actually outproduced him. And the kid that they got from South Carolina, that's an undrafted free agent right now, Kerry, I'm going to be 100 with you on this. If he makes the roster, he might take Charlie Warner's spot and actually snatch a couple of receptions away from Pitts if we keep him.
Is he like the Simmons kid, the tight end you're talking about?
Yeah, his name's Smith.
Okay, Smith.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Is he going to be? Can he play the role of also maybe being a fullback /
yes,
getting the ball out of the out? Man, see that's.
See, Dub. After the show, I'm gonna send you some of his footage because I showed it on the birdcage. See, Dub, he blocks, he catches, and has good speed, and he's got a mean streak at that too.
Oh yeah, well there you go. So here we go.
Before we change the tune from Kyle Pitts, I just want to ask you guys, ideally, what would be a good season from Kyle Pitts as far as yards and touchdowns? Like, what in your ideal mind, like what would be good?
6 touchdowns, 700 yards this year because it's a 17-game season, and I think that would be productive for him because we got a lot of options on this offense for passing the ball.
Right. Okay, that's fair. So about 100 more yards and 1 more touchdown than last year. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ron, what do you say? I think Ron may be helping April right now. So we'll give him a little time. I will say, I think, Ron, you said what? Ryan, you said 700?
Yeah, I say 700 yards with 6 touchdowns. I think that's doable in a 17 game season that we have right now. I think he can do that.
I'm gonna actually I'm gonna say 800 yards because he does have that ability to stretch the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also looking at the touchdowns. I'm thinking about 7. Yeah, I'm thinking about 7 actually because if he gets his head right, this man could be a red zone nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
The length, everything. And, look, we've seen it where quarterbacks and tight ends, and I'm also going off this. we've seen it in the NFL where if you can get your tight end to play, tight ends and quarterbacks make a lot of plays. And they're usually the best release valve. They're usually the one weapon that can sneak around. And, you got Bijan out there. You can have Mooney. You have, Drake. Defense.
Daryl Hodge is another one too.
Yeah, Hodge, or let's say Nash, or Washington. So I could see Pitts sneaking up and getting about 8. So I think 8, and like I said, 700 yards and 8 touchdowns in a 7-game season. I mean, I don't want to go 10 or because I don't think
that ain't gonna happen.
Have 10 last year. No,
I think, have 10. Let's put it this way: the one that's going to get more than 10 is going to be Drake and Bijan. So.
Just make sure you tell him to hold on to the ball before he crosses the goal line.
Thank you. That's my other thought. He's got to hold on to that ball.
I just wanted
because he was gifted there.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I just want to say, shout out to you, Christy. No problem. And I do want to say that my thing is that I mentioned this last night on the schedule release show. My thing for next season, what I really want to see is the Falcons and Zach Robinson, the offense in general, get better in the red zone. The Falcons were ranked 20th in the NFL in red zone efficiency last season. That's just not good enough, in my opinion, for the amount of weapons you have on this offense. We only scored touchdowns on 54% of our drives in the red zone. Settling for too many field goals when you have a hurt kicker is just not cool. And when you have so many weapons, so much talent that should be scoring those touchdowns. So if we want to win games next season, I want to see the red zone efficiency vastly improve.
Got to start using, and here's the other thing. You got to start using Tyler Algier more in the red zone. When you see him eating, don't just pull him out to throw Bijan in there because you want to turn Bijan into Christian McCaffrey and you want this man to be your guy. Like, no, use your battering ram. Take some of the pressure off the young guy. Because let's be honest, man, running backs have X amount of carries. And the way that they run Bijan into the ground from the passing game and doing that, you're literally shortening his career. Like, you don't see it. You're not going to understand it unless you play the game. Running backs don't live that long in the league. The days of Walter Payton, Jim Brown, and these guys of having long careers, they don't live that long because, again, the physical totality of those type of people are just it's just amazing for a guy to take that much of a beating and still keep coming back next year. So for me, I feel like let's save Bijan's legs. Hell, you got Jason McCullum. Use the rookie too. I mean, well, he's not a rookie now. He's a second year guy. 1 year guy. You really gotta start mixing up your offense and being able to take some of the pressure off of some of these stars so we can at least have a little bit more continuity of an offensive attack. So I'm with you on that, Kerry.
And by the way, Uncle Steve, congratulations on retirement.
Hi, Uncle Steve.
Yep. And then want to say, okay, no problems, Kerry. We're about to wrap this up also. And want to say, so if we can get 6 to 8 TDs, that would be very successful. Not sure his yardage would matter on a team with Bijan and Drake. And that's kind of what I was thinking too, Uncle Steve, was that, when you look at this team and the way this team is set up, you're not asking for a lot, but what you're asking is just to be there to be able to make the plays when the called your number. And look, like I said, just don't do what you did in that Giants game where you gave the ball to the corner, but then the other thing that I hated was my boy, of all people, Drake London is in the mix with every Giant player, and Kyle just walks over there going, "Hey, what's up?" I swear, if you would have put a sandwich in his hand, he would have been like, "Bruh, man, hey, yeah, I came for I'm bruh, man, full flow." I mean, I had to fix me a sandwich. I mean, dude. But yeah, we got Ron back. All right, so Kerry, go ahead and give your plugs and everything. Let people know where to find you. I know you said you had to go real quick, so I'm going to let you shout out your people, and then we'll let you go on.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for having me. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Christy, Monte Carlo, Uncle Steve, Christy Lewis, everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I hope you're happy and healthy, and I hope everyone has a great day. And let's start getting ready for this upcoming season. Gotta start seeing what games I'm gonna be at. So have
Yeah.
a great day, everyone. Thank
We'll get the Carrie report. We'll find out where you can see Carrie. She'll let you take pictures and sign autographs. She's the star of this thing. So we
Oh,
we want to make
stop.
sure
No,
that
stop.
she gets the attention what she needs. But we got you.
Carrie is the David Ruffin of this thing here.
You know it, man.
Stop
Hey,
it.
hey,
Y'all don't see the
see,
limo that she
Doug.
drives in.
Hey,
Or
see,
she
Doug.
might be Jackson, be the Jackson.
Nah, she like David Ruffin. She telling C Dub, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. That's what
That's
she
right.
telling
Yeah. Y'all didn't hear that argument we had. Yeah. And I was like, yes, man. Yes. I'm sorry. I'll put you on the mainstream.
She done turned into David Ruffin. Lord help us.
Great show, y'all. I love being these and Carrie is a star. Yeah. Oh Lord, I love Ladarius, brother. I wish you were still here, but I understand you had to take care of family, so you're all good. So, last thoughts. I mean, look, the season's going to be the season, and Ryan, it's like this. This is why I love you, because you came in here and you just popped the bubble right away. Y'all know we ain't playing no games in preseason.
Right.
Everyone's going to sit. So the question I have for you is this: it's like, what's going to be the best way for us Falcon fans to try to figure out what the heck's going to be going on with this team? The teams that come together and practice at training camp, but and basically just if you don't know, have someone on the inside watching everything for you. But what's the best ways to kind of keep up with this? I mean, because we know, unless, do you think Raw actually changes it up because of knowing that he has to do something different?
I don't think he changes. I don't think he does that because you just had a top draft pick go down with a knee injury in the preseason, and he was lost. And we still had to make moves to bring in another piece and Judon and try to help out. So at this point, Raheem's looking at, we don't have much money at this point. We don't have certain things that we can go out and reach because we're not going to be able to grab nothing in free agency during the season. That's why I think that they tried to shore up everything with the undrafted free agents and what we brought in because of the limited resources that we have right now because of the Kirk Cousins contract at this point. But I think that Raheem is probably he might let his guys play in the last preseason game, maybe a series. But don't expect these guys to play. These are going to be the second and third string guys or guys that's going to get cut and sent elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all we're going to see during the preseason.
All right. And what about you, Ron? What do you think?
I think Raheem will not change his spots. He still will not play the starters, like Ryan said. And he know if he lose a starter, he might be out here. So he need to keep everybody ready, but on the sideline during preseason. The what I really think and feel. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you guys are probably right. My thing is, I want to see. Oh, hold on. And we'll catfish Kirk. We'll debut at the You know what? Oh, I'm putting him out there. Just out of pure spite, I would put him there. Be like, man, we got to show you out, man. Got to make sure you're looking good.
I will not put him out there.
Huh?
I'm 1/3 Muslim. I don't eat catfish.
Wow.
So y'all can keep that if you gonna call. Look, I done turned 1/3 Muslim because you said Kirk was catfish. Nope, can't eat catfish no more. You just gave catfish a bad name.
Wow. And it already stink. So
yeah,
facts. You got to clean it to make sure it don't stink. Get a little vinegar, a little lime juice.
Yeah.
But Kirk, you can't wash that stench off of his ass.
Nah, that's snitch. That's snitch fish right there. That's snitch.
I'm telling you.
Well, me personally, I would not put Kirk Cousins out there.
You know what would be funny if Kirk just shows up to practice with some tires and strings them up on some trees and be like, look, don't worry. I already got it. I'm good.
Right.
Y'all do y'all thing.
See,
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to say he needs to win the media or anything.
Right.
But
see, me, you already know what you're going to get from Chuck Cousins.
Mhm.
Like Ryan said about Bet, you already know he will give you 7 or 8 games or whatever. But he cannot win the big one. That been his main problem. So why put Chuck Cousins out there and you trying to trade him? You trying to get more than you can for Chuck Cousins. You see what I'm saying? And we see every year a starter quarterback go down every year. Well, so why let Chuck Cousins get hurt again? Somewhat.
Oh my God, that's funny. I just read one of the comments here. Now he spelled your name wrong, Ryan, but I'm sorry. But I think it's probably he read it. Yeah, do the talk speech. But anyway, he's like, Ryan for the birdcage. We have a fish. We have Pat McAfee. We can't call Kurt a fish. We already have a fish in Pat McAfee.
Wow.
But
Pat McAfee, yeah, he's more like a toadfish. He eat everything that come at the bottom of the water.
Oh
What?
God! Look at this is why
Hell.
you're my boy. You're my boy. I love you.
See,
Oh,
this is why you can't take me nowhere.
Hold on. You know what's funny? You say I can't take you nowhere, but yet here I am. I bring you, and I go, yeah. Or it's like, who brought him? I'm like, me. And then you're like, figures, because I have no filter.
I'm the type of dude. I'll be like, yeah, you got a problem with it? What's up?
But here's the bad part, C-Dub. Now, my thing is, I'm a very blunt and honest Falcon fan. Some people just don't like what I have to say, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I'm going to tell the truth about the team that I rock with. I'm not going to be delusional. Like, what's the purpose? Here's my thing. What's the purpose of being delusional and you in a relationship? Like, we're in a habitual relationship with this team. And some of us have been in this for over 20 years. It's pretty much like being in a situation with somebody that cheated on you and broke your heart many times, and we still here. Y'all can say what you want, but all of us that's Falcon fans, you literally have been cheated on, been beat on. You've literally been abused in every which way with this organization.
Yeah.
But we still come back because we love this team.
Hold on.
So
perfect thing here that says that. I mean,
but a lot of people don't know football, real football. So,
but I mean, it's okay because, as we said before, it's okay with being a fan.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
I look at it like this: it's okay to be a fan of the team, but just be real about it.
But once again, a lot of people cannot be real. If you cannot be real about their team, you cannot be real about yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
If you're out there and you're telling your team, telling everybody this team's going to win championship, or this team's going to go 17-0, this team's going to, it's good to be positive and believe in your team. What we're saying is, man, just dial it back sometimes. I mean, because you got to look at the warts.
Let's be real, C-Dub. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that I can actually, I have decorum on your show, but I can actually speak how I want to speak sometimes on your show that I can't do on mine like I like to. But I'll say this. The best way to describe the Falcons is like this. You're pretty much trying. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ryan.
What you say, Ron?
Bobby and Whitney.
No, I ain't even go. That's a good one. I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna give you this. Picture. You see this beautiful woman walking down the street. You love her. For the ladies, you see a guy. But here's the thing: you see all the promise and the potential in being in a serious relationship with this person. Guess what? You literally fall for it. You get to them. They woo you with a nice dinner and some other things, some adult activities. I'll leave it like that, and have your mind wide open, wide open. And then next thing you know, they mess you all up. When you find out that they got somebody else, or if they ain't got somebody else, they working a job that you didn't know they was working, and you just all sorts of messed up. For the brothers out here, let's be honest. That's like you dating a bad chick and she working at Magic City and you don't know until you go in there with your boys on Magic City Mondays and you see her prancing around on the stage. You're like, what the hell? And it just mess you all up because everybody has seen your woman and they know what she about. It's just like the Falcons. Everybody has seen what the Falcons are about. Eventually, they say, just wait. They're going to find a way to mess it up. Just wait. Right. And that's how they look at us. Same with the female. Same with the ladies. You got a dude that's out here, and shoot, that man got a family on the other side of town. And you find out about it. That's the type of heartbreak the Falcons give you. But you know what? We still keep coming back. So all I'm saying is this. Nah, Christy, hey, Christy, everybody that went through some heartbreak. I mean, we all know that. But, man, I ain't never been that damn gullible.
You got that one guy, he's out in the rain, just letting it hit his face like, I'm not crying.
Hey, he's sitting there with the boombox over his head playing that music. If you think you're lonely now. Hey, there's so many people that talk about leaving the Falcons, but guess what? You ain't gonna leave. You've been here this long.
They still here.
But you know what I see with the Falcons, though? I can honestly, it's just like this. I feel like if the Falcons win the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's pretty much like a brother that's coming out of the penitentiary on hard times. He done converted to Islam, and it's just like the women. They convert to Islam after they done finished hooking and crooking out there too. You know what I'm saying? Across that Magic City stage, they all become distinguished individuals. I believe that's what happens to the Falcons when we finally win our Super Bowl.
Hold on, and then there's that point where they go, "Oh hell, I'm too close to being getting everything right. Fuck that! I need to screw this up somehow."
Oh yeah, you're right. One of your boys is Judas for real. You ain't lied about that. Boy.
Oh my God.
Hey, C-Dub, I'm sorry, man. This took a whole nother turn.
Look. Like
Christy be egging me on. That's my dog. She be egging me on when I come up with the analogy.
I love Christy. She's awesome. She's like she's salt of the earth. Christy, anytime you want to join in the party, you know you can.
And see, you and Ron, y'all always get me started. Now I don't even get like this on my own show, but y'all get me started every time I come in y'all show.
Hey, every time I see Ryan, I do the Bugman hands.
Because I'm gonna say something off the wall.
Right. I've been knowing Ryan for 5 years, so they're my OG right there. So
as soon as Ryan goes, "Hey, can I get in?" I'm like, I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, "Yeah, here you go. Come on."
Yeah, here you go, pal.
And see, today y'all looked me up, man. I was up at the job. You know, I was busy just keeping my mind right. And C-Dub, you just said, we live right now. And I know what that means. Come on in here.
Right.
Let's C-Dub way and say, come on in here. We live.
We live? And not with that, I'm going to let you say whatever the hell you say because here's the thing. I have no swear job. If we did, it'd be full as motherfucker.
But I'll be honest with you, C-Dub. Like, I love the fact that you have your platform set up the way that you do to where when folks come through here, it's no restrictions. You know what I'm saying? And you really give the folks unadulterated, serious satellite radio.
Right.
Now you get some moments on in the cage or whatever like that. But in here, man, please, this shit is just like damn serious satellite radio.
Look, it's just my style. It's like
I love it.
People be themselves than be somebody else. It's like, and if you don't agree, if you don't like what my take is, come on out.
Thank you, Christy.
Let's talk it out. And yes, and by the way, folks, check out Bumper to Bumper with Ryan. That is, you talk about Sirius Station for me. Well, what I like about it, this is like trying to fight road rage. Just listen to Ryan talking, because there are times you could tell his road rage is coming, but the thing is, he's actually channeling it with his Falcons. But it's, honestly, bro, I love it. It is really good stuff because you bring out some really good stuff out there, man.
I don't know. I guess I just think about different things, and then it just a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never write anything down. A lot of that's just natural to what I think.
Mm-hmm.
No structure. Just want people just to we could just talk about I could just talk about a regular topic, and every once in a while, I have somebody to come through bumper to bumper too.
Mhm.
Just not early in the morning because I don't know too many morning people out
Yeah.
Trust
But-
me.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah. Well, look, if Ryan needed me, all he had to do is say, C-Dub, I would like you to join me on Bumper. But I'd be like, I'm in. I'll put my alarm.
You
Just tell me when.
Yeah.
I was gonna say don't hold me to that because
I'll
now
hold you. Come on, you've been on my
Look.
show. I can do. You know I got.
no. The reason I say don't hold me to that is because when I call and ask for you,
I got you. Like I said,
because it's early.
Just give me the night before. Just be like, hey, I'm thinking about.
Oh, yeah.
Could you pop in? I'm like, I got you.
No,
I'm definitely gonna do that during the season or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And when you talk about, especially with the Sunday night games and stuff like that, oh yeah, bumper to bumper gonna be live.
Oh man, Bumper be fun though.
Now this the off season right now.
Yeah, I know. We're in the off season. This is like one of our off season shows. We're just like, because I'm like, I told the guys, I'm like, I don't know. We'll probably do it every 2 weeks or something. But I'm like, I want to kind of wait because if something happens, then we could talk about it. But like, honestly, there's nothing happening, and instead of us waiting for Mr. Hiawassee to come out of his his tent, with his drugs so he could join the Steelers, and if not, then we could ship Kurt out there for $1.55.
Right.
But man, I'm just like,
you know what? I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. You know who I really wish could have been on the show today, and I literally love his presence. Ladarius, aka Flash.
Of course.
Of course.
Flash minus the Ebony Sparks. I'm on my 5 heartbeats kick when I talk about him. That's
you have to understand. Ladarius is a busy man, and his wise man Craig made this for him. And let me tell you, when we could get a Bluetooth ad, this man, when you need to when you need the stamina to go all show long, because C-Dub and Ladarius, we do long shows. Look, there you go. And what I like was the nice little Alps thing he had out here. The man is dressed in a purple suit, like looking fire. So yeah, Flash, you ain't lying.
It's in a purple suit.
A lizard suit.
Hey man,
we love you, Ladarius. Look at that. Look at that look.
Ladarius is the real Flash from the 5 heartbeats.
Yes.
And Ladarius, you Flash, and I'm like Eddie Kane Jr. How does it feel to be me? Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. No, I'm just messing around. Ladarius is my guy. I love Ladarius, man. Funny, good brother, man.
Yes, he is. He's a good man. I
yes.
love him. He's
my man got me.
I love him. Hey, by the way, big ups. Marty Harlow brought up Ryan's got to watch more college football. Man's got a memory of an elephant. Look, when Ryan's on the birdcage and he's like throwing names, it's hilarious to watch the crew because if they're not ready for these names, some will just be like, "Wait, who? Huh?" And then you got other guys like, "Yeah." It almost feels like a church service. Yeah.
Well, we got the cricket deacon that come through, John Harris. The cricket deacon or whatnot. Yeah, look, he got a show with a pulpit now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that pulpit. It's hilarious when he gets on the pulpit. I just go, "Oh man, here we go."
I'm surprised he don't got that 2x4 next to him.
Wait a minute, Ron. Wait a minute. Hey, C-Dub, I don't recommend that y'all sit by me when I go to training camp. They gonna put me out of there. When I sit back and watch these guys out here and they can't even get a dollar bill under their foot because they can't jump, I got to get my 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about John is when he's going off, and there's a point you just go, "Is John still going?" Yeah, he is. Just let him go. He's just, John's. Oh my!
How John say, "Hey, What we ain't gonna do is mention that number 2 that used to quarterback here. I mean, man, that man couldn't throw a beach ball into the open side of the ocean. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to get a bullwhip and chain and just wrap it around his throat one good time.
Mhm.
As much money as I done wasted on tickets, and we ain't got a Super Bowl. But I'm gonna be right back next season too.
cheering him on.
Mhm.
How close was that to sounding like John, y'all?
Oh, you definitely
That's
hit
close.
it. You definitely hit it. Yeah. Or what I always love when I'm on the show, I always just go, so John, when are you going to have your little 15 minutes of how you love Matt Ryan?
Oh
So he
man, don't get me started on that. You getting ready to have me drinking out of the bath? You about to have me drinking out of a foot tub of liquor? What's wrong with you, C-Dub?
He's like, now
Mhm.
C-Dub, don't you get
The
me on
man,
that.
the man,
Nope.
the man can't throw that football, and he cost us a Super Bowl or two. See, this wouldn't have happened if I was in that front office and old egghead up there is calling things.
Mhm.
I always love John going, see what would have happened. If I was
Hey,
the coach,
Christy.
I would have had my 2x twice.
Hey, Christy, this is what happened when you work with John. This is what happened when you work with John.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Because you hear certain things, and it's like, now y'all hear this, and it's like he lets that old country fly out too, which is even funnier.
I'm just saying, like, when you sit back and you think about it, John is one of those animated fans that you need to have in your fan base. He's an old school crash out fan. He done been through so much stuff with Atlanta sports. That man there, when I talk about he's got biblical type pain, you just got to sit back and just let him have it.
At that pain, it changes you. I mean, I know. I have my shares, but I'm just like, oh my god, he goes way back, and I'm just like, and then yeah, if you ever mention Matt, if you ever want to have a good conversation with John, just ask,
Hey,
what do you think about Matt Ryan?
Winston did that. Winston did that one night. I decided to visit the eye test. What? And he just came and went, Winston, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong? You sitting here talking like the man did all this. The man didn't do nothing up in here. And we gonna bring Ryan up in here. John, don't bring me up in this mess. That's between you and Winston. No, I want your opinion on this, man. Because guess what? That's gonna tell me whether I need to break out my 2x4 or not.
You know, I love
John is my guy, though. I love John, man.
What was it? I used to watch the Boondocks.
Yep.
And I love the old man character. And ever since I've met John, I can never get those two out of my head when I'm hearing John talk. I just go,
wow. So he say John is Robert Jebediah Freeman. I can see it.
yeah. I was listening to I was going to, but I was wanting to get some sleep to make sure I could get the show ready for today.
John would be just like he was when they had the episode where Martin Luther King came up and they talked about Rosa Parks. They laid her in state. They ain't gonna lay my ass in state. They gonna lay me at the Johnson fucking Memorial down the damn street. That's something John would say.
Yeah. Lord Jesus, John. Like I said, and then it's like this. I loved it when, like, what was it it was a while. John would just do these random lives from his chair.
Yep.
Let me tell you, or in his car. Let me tell you something. We have a coach that has no idea.
I told him we gonna do a show one day. Like I told John that, see, Dub, like I'm gonna have an episode one day of Bumper to Bumper with just me and John one day. And I'm gonna make sure I at least slot that for an hour and a half because I know he gonna take at least about 30 minutes talking about Matt Ryan. He gonna find a way to put him in there.
All I'm gonna say is, hold on. You could talk about these young quarterbacks that are up and rising, that are Gus Nussmeier. You can talk about all these guys, and John would still fit in. And let me tell you something. They're gonna have a stronger arm than that noodle boy of Matt Ryan.
We're like, John, Matt Ryan had been retired. It don't matter. And I be having to tell him, I said, so I asked John up front, I said, who did you think was better, Peachtree Bart or Matt Ryan? You really got the nerve to ask me that? Bart would have won with what we would have won 2 or 3 Super Bowls with Bart with the talent we had. That noodle arm quarterback couldn't throw himself out of a wet paper bag. I remember he said that. I just shook my head, man.
I crack up laughing when I think of John yelling at Kyle Shanahan or the coaches as they're working with Matt, and I'm just going, who would have thought that?
Well, he said he got. Well, he said he got put out of Flowery Branch.
Oh God, I would have loved to have seen it. I really would have, because hold on, because someone's looking at it like, dang, that was my ride home.
Man, and look, Ubers are expensive to get from Flowery Branch back to the city.
No, especially
with the way gas prices are right now.
You know what though? John's the type of guy that will be in the parking lot, just stay mad.
No, I already told him if I can get down to training camp or whatever, I said, I'm sitting right next to you. No, you don't want to sit next to me. I said, me and Winston actually said it. We said, we just gonna act like we don't know. Y'all know him? Nah, we ain't with him.
No. He's just sitting here.
He's just sitting here. Me and Winston said that last night. And John just started laughing.
Look, and here's the thing. If y'all do, I'll show up with y'all. I'll be like, no, this guy. No, I don't know this guy. You were talking to him. Yeah, and I was talking to everybody. I'm on a podcast. I got to get to know my people. So
here's what I got for you. I want to ask you something.
Yeah, shoot.
Because I got to get back. I got to get back to the JOB because I love being on this show and I get to cut up with y'all boys all the time.
Amen.
But when you look at this season coming up, and you look at the amount of pressure, like on a serious note, you look at the amount of pressure that we have and the expectations, because they gave us 5 primetime games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that we earned that last year? Or do you think that they're handing this out because the media really wants to see Michael Penix Jr. be the next star?
Ron, you're back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and answer it. Give you a chance.
I just see 50-50. The media really want us, Michael Penix, to win. Well, and I just see they want him to win and see what else we will do. I would say that in the prior time game, because remember, the only reason we lost the Washington game because we didn't get the ball back. So we went toe to toe with them on their own field. So I could see that being a big rivalry for the next 15, 20 years, in my opinion. So
I kind of wish that the Washington game was a primetime game, but what your answer to your question, I think there is a lore to Michael Penix, like what he did, but I also think you also got to look at what Bijan can do. I also think I think here's the thing. The Falcons, for a good part, what we've noticed, they don't really get, the past few years, it's not like they get really blown out. They stay in these games. So if we're within the game, I think it's entertaining. I think there's a reason why they want to see us. And yeah, for 5 times out of 17, look, there were times we didn't even get a primetime game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with Matt Ryan. I know, John. But honestly.
Hey, man, don't sit there and mention that quarterback. He ain't here no more. Noodle Arm is up in the booth where he deserves to be. And I don't even think he can throw an analogy as well as he can throw a pass out there on that field.
I take him over Romo. So anyway. Gay golly, Jim. Oh, I can't stand him. But yeah, I think the Falcons have done some really good to get the 5 games. I mean, look at the primetime games they were in. The Thursday night game with the Bucs was one of the best games. So I think it's going to be one of those. I think it's like Ron said, 50-50, but I do see – look, maybe it's the fact that people are looking at the Falcons going, they have a good core. Let's see what this team's about. Let's see. People want to see them. And like I said, Atlanta on a Monday night, that's not a bad deal, especially those 2 games.
Okay. That was my only question I had for y'all. I'm getting ready to break camp or whatnot.
Well,
Hey, Mills, that was me imitating John Harris talk about Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Mills. That John Harris loves Matt Ryan. He's a Matt Ryan. What y'all don't know is we critique the ones we love the most. So John really loves Matt Ryan.
Now when he see this episode, he's gonna cuss you out for that, right?
Yeah, he is. I kind of hope so because he keeps telling me he's going to come on the show, and I'm like, anytime, your invitation's open. Just come on in. So
man, C-Dub don't even play like that. You know how I feel about that old sorry noodle arm quarterback. That's John Harris.
Yep. Oh, it will be. Hold on. Either he'll say it from his recliner, or he's going to say it from the front seat of a car, or maybe the pulpit. So those are his 3 spots now. So I kind of like the pulpit though; it's kind of cool. But yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and bounce, man. I thank y'all for having me on.
Let people know where to find you, especially for tonight.
All right. So y'all can catch myself, the Magnificent Birdcage crew, on the Birdcage LLC tonight. I'm tonight at 8 p.m. We actually have an interview tonight. We have former NBA legend, Mr. Ollie Johnson. He's a Temple Hall of Famer, played at Temple University, and he also played for the Atlanta Hawks at one point of his career. And he was traded for Sweet Lou Hudson. It's a good story that goes along with that. But he definitely does a lot in the community up here in Philly. He's former community college AD and is well respected among the NBA community. So y'all definitely got to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. We got the NBA playoffs going on right now. What better way to cap off the playoffs by having a former NBA player in here? Just saying, makes sense.
Yeah,
exactly. That'd be good to hear.
You already gave the plug for bumper to bumper. That's just pretty much early in the mornings. Y'all just got to just tune in. I might do it once a week, but during the season, you are going to get it a little bit more. During the off season, I just pop up here and there. So bumper to bumper early in the morning. Hopefully it gets you to your job, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. But thank you again, C-Dub. Y'all hit this like button. It's free 99 for my guy. And also check out his pages that he does for wrestling as well. So you don't have to be a wrestling fan, but just make sure you hit that like button for him, because definitely want to keep his material in the algorithm, man. And we ain't got to say nothing about Ron. Ron like a damn Jamaican. He got 10 podcasts he do all in one.
He is that Jamaican family from In Living Color. I got 3.
Exactly.
I got that job.
The famous sketch of Hey Man. That was the sketch.
Oh.
I only have 3 jobs, you lazy bumper clock boy.
Right.
I have 3 jobs within 3 hours.
Let me go ahead and get out of here, man. Get back on this clock, man. Thank y'all for having me.
And the crew.
Thank you, Ron. All right, now it's us 2. Look, if you're still with us, thanks a lot. I mean, we had a blast. This was fun. So we wanted to talk about the schedule and everything. I guess the only thing I'm going to say is this, man. What's your thoughts when you think about what we're looking at with the Falcons? Is we want them to succeed. We want them to be the best. So, but the question now comes to this. This is, to me, no matter what we say, is on Raheem and it's on the players. They have to show up and, look, a lot of people's jobs online. We just kind of got that confirmed. So what do you think?
Raheem got the coach better. he got to get these players ready to play. You cannot be half-stepping out here. Because, like I said before, it's 50-50. You got some fans like Raheem, you got some fans that cannot stand him with the tight pants. But that's another. But Raheem, you got the you said you look up to the best head coaches in the NFL. You might do, but you got to. I'm not saying you got to act like them, but you got to coach better.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to keep your job, you got to coach better. You cannot let coaches out coach you. Everything on the line. You got your players that you want in the draft. You got your players, free agents, well, with the 8th round pick, where they said Taylor Fano.
Yeah.
You got all your players. You got some good players. Now, can you coach better? Can you take what you did from last year and get better as a coach? And if you can't, then you might as well turn your key in and all that stuff. So I'll tell you, if we start out flat this year, some of the fans want me calling your name to get fired. They already talking about that on the radio stations, on ESPN, NFL Network. They already said if the Falcons don't start our games real good, you might be on your way out, player. So you got to coach better. And cover your ankles, please.
I just love how sincere he sounded on that one. That was just beautiful from the heart. I could feel that one. I mean, my God, that was beautiful. Yeah, and by the way, when we play, lace them up and let's rock. We're ready. Yeah,
Right.
I'm with you, Millie. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what we do. I want to see how we play. I want to see how the defense looks, especially with all these guys.
Right.
Hold on, put some jerks on them.
Right.
I'm done. Oh God! All right, Millie. I love that one. Put some jerks on them.
Raheem, you got to do better, player. What you did last year, you cost us a lot of games for not calling timeouts, for taking the flags home with you. I don't know why, but you got to do better. Here go John.
Oh God, we got John. Oh boy. When I tell you a duck can pull a truck, you. Oh God. That's another thing I think I'm hearing that sounds like a Johnism. Oh my God, everyone's killing me with the Johnisms today.
you got the coach for your job, Raheem.
Yeah, he does. And I think not just, it's like this. I don't want him to come off like everything's great.
Right.
I think that we've talked about it. Stop telling me everything's great. Stop telling me, trying to be positive. Just take care of business. Right. This is a football team. You want to make sure everything's well. We won't know anything until that first game. And my thing is, I just don't want to see us looking as flat as we did.
Right.
Because that was crap.
And that's why I said the starters needs that got to play a snap or two. You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. I kind of I'm. People can be like, "Oh no, they're fine. Let them do their thing." Hold up, before you say let them do their thing, they did.
Right.
I'm saying this is one of those you want to. If this is your last chance, I'm not doing the same thing I did before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, what did I do? Maybe I can tinker something. Okay, you know what? we didn't change much on offense.
Right.
Maybe we can go off and do something here. Yeah,
Right.
sometimes looks from a sideline like he's a spectator.
Yeah.
Christy, and by the way, Christy, for real, if you ever want to be on the show, please let me know. I would love to have you on the show with me, Ron. And if the time is an issue, let us know what works for you. We would like to try to do something. But I just want to say, Raheem does come off as a spectator.
Right.
During the games, he's staring at the hot, the board. It's like this. I get wanting to be the head coach. I get that. You don't want to be like stuck in the small details.
Right.
But those things are, go ahead. We're going to cut it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it after this. So go ahead and do you. Okay. If I wasn't at work, I sure would. Well, like I said, you let me know what is good for you, Christy. We would love to have you on. And like I said, if not now, maybe another day or something, we can work it out. Because I would love to have you on the show. And Ron is helping Miss April out. So we're gonna actually go ahead and call the show up. And I just hope y'all enjoyed our schedule look ahead and schedule release. If you haven't checked out, go to the Falcons website or on Twitter. Check out the Nintendo 64 version of what they did, or not 64, but the Switch Mario Kart Party with the Falcons. It was really good. I thought it was funny. I loved it. And good. I enjoyed it too. Yeah, I did. It was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like the Bill Belichick one too with the chick and no air for the New England. So it's just a few things. Definitely want to, hope everyone enjoyed. Ryan, the historian from the Birdcage. Check them out. Having that interview set up for tonight, as well as check out Bumper Bumper. Go to his page at the Birdcage LLC on YouTube. Check him out with that interview with Myles Garrett. Really good stuff. It came on at the same time we were doing our stuff, so that's why I wasn't able to watch. So I'll definitely be checking it out. But also check out Carrie, check out Ladarius, Ron. They're always on shows. Ladarius is doing his thing with Beyond Women's Sports, always writing good articles. So, and also big shout out to the family. So hope everything goes well. And Ron's going to be out. So for that, I'm just going to tell you, I'm C Double. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Thank you. And I'm out. Peace.